Well, hey folks, this is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave, and this is the Durafly Brewster Buffalo F2A Buffalo version 2, sent to me by hobbyking for review. Now, actually, today is March 20th. Today is the day it was released, but I just got it yesterday, and I was at work last night, so I couldn't. So we got to do the unbox, build, and maiden all in one day. So that's okay. Let's get to it. We're going to open up the box, see what's in the box, and go over the parts, and then we'll change our camera view. Start putting, let's go ahead and read a little bit about the plane. It's a authentic pre-war scheme, or pre-World War II, obviously. Hand launch, belly launch, sports scale detail, low build count, compact size for easy transport. The plane is small. It only has a 920 millimeter wingspan or a 36-inch wingspan. Got authentic EPO foam, pre-installed electronics, pre-applied decals and paint. So it's got a wingspan, like I said, 36 inches. It's only 26 inches long. It's 13 ounces or 675 grams without the battery. It's got a Aerostar 28 millimeter, 120 kV Outrunner. Got a 40 amp Aerostar ESC, Brushless ESC. It runs a 10x5 prop. Servos are 4 9-gram servos, and it runs on a 2200 3S up to a 2200 4S, and we'll be mating it on both. So let's go ahead and change our camera view. You know what? We might be able to get away with, because this is actually not that much. As you can see, the way it's packed right here, the wing is in this crate, and it's on foam. It's protected. Yeah, I think we can get away with just doing this right here. The wing just is is actually connected and doesn't touch anything, so you don't have to worry about it getting dented or dinged. Nice. It has a silver paint job. Well, the prop is painted silver also, which is kind of cool. That's, like I said, that's a it's like a 10 by 5 electric prop, and I like it. It's got a silver flake, and of course the adapters that come with it. All right, let's go ahead and take the wing out of its little box there, out of its plastic. Let's see, that is like taped down to that. Yeah, see, it's not going to go anywhere. That's what I like. You know, when things move around inside these shipping crates, that's when they get damaged, when they move around and they bang against each other. But when they're secured and they don't get a chance to go anywhere, that's, unless the crate gets dropped and off the back of a truck, you know, at 100 mile an hour, then it's going to be fine. Now we do have to install the control horns, but that is nice. Look at how smooth that is. It's got a lot of dihedral in that wing, so it's going to make it very stable. Very bright. I mean, that's a very distinct contrast. Now you got a pinch hinge, but it looks like, yeah, it looks like some laminate in there. Yeah, see, when you see that shiny in that hinge, that means they got some laminate in there. It's a simple little, well, I'm sure there's a Y provided. Bolt-on design, stiff. It's going to be a little ripper. Okay, put that off to the side there. And the same thing, everything is in its own little protecting compartment here. Okay. We'll go over the fuselage in just a minute, because we know that the fuselage is the main event. The main event. Try to keep up with your debris the best you can. Got our little bag of bits and bobs. Quick startup guide. Gives you all the particulars about it. The piece of the fuselage, it goes in the back. Okay, and we got our horizontal stabilizer. This is not that big of a plane at all. Otherwise known as elevator. Which people get They said, no, it's don't say elevator. It's a horizontal stable. It's an elevator. I think there was laminate, but they've painted over it when they put the paint in. Control horns are already installed. I like the scale detail on that. It'll be a very sense. It's got a carbon spar going through it, so make it nice and stiff. And that's a very rugged control horn there. I like that. Very bright. Definitely won't have any issue seeing this at all. And then we got the belly plate, or the belly pan, or however you want to say it. Now I think you have the option of just screwing through this or gluing it on. I'll probably glue it on for, that's the body. That's the bottom of it. That's where you got places to put your fingers to throw the plane. Okay. All right. Good. Get this out of the way. Stay there. Oh, things are falling. Imagine that, all this stuff falling in the man cave. That could never be. All right. Oh, this is all hard plastic here. Nice. Oh, that sounds good. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear this or not. Here. You don't hear any. I got I'm holding it up against my mic that's got on my chest right here. You don't hear any grinding sound, which is always a good sound. I love the finish on this. Now you do have to install, you got a ball link that's not hooked up for you, which is good. That means if it got hit, but it wouldn't have bound on it. The ball link there, ball link for the elevator. It's got to glue your elevator in. So let's take a look on the inside. Nice big battery bay. And got your nut. I don't like the fact they don't, a lot of companies, all these companies, they're not secure in their ESC. They just flop around there. So I'll probably maybe Velcro that to the side or something. But I got a nice, strong, adjustable Velcro strap. Probably going to go on pretty much almost all the way forward. I'm going to run the 2200 3S or 4S. Simple connections there for your elevator and rudder. And they're labeled for you. And then your wing will come through. The only it's got one is just your ailerons. So pretty simple build. So, all right, let me get my materials together. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, now the first thing we're going to do is you get all your kit, get all your little baggies out, and one of your kits and one of your little baggies it says an aileron Y lead. Okay. Now you could wait and go ahead and do this next step after you put the wing on, but we're going to hook up our control surfaces. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to get these servos centered first. So I'm going to use a servo tester. I'm going to go ahead and hook up my wings and get these things centered. Okay. Pop them in there like that. I want to take servo tester. And that way I'm making sure you see both of them working. Put them in neutral. There's neutral. All right. Pretty well the same distance. Okay, so they're neutral now. One thing I want to do while I'm here, hold on just a moment, just to make sure, I mean, you could get some fancy or 3D printed servo protector connectors, but what I like to do is just take a piece of tape and tape it. That way I know for sure that those servos are not going to back out of their Y connectors there. Just a little extra piece of insurance, and that way I know that I got good solid connection and I don't ever have to worry about vibration or whatever going to back out these servos from this servo connector. And they don't take up any more weight, any more room or weight, but now I don't ever have to worry about that, and I know they're hooked up correctly because I just tried them. So we can put that off the side. And we know that's taken care of. And since we know they're centered, we can go ahead and hook everything up. Now, in the kit, it does come with a small 1.5 Allen wrench. Okay, it's in the baggie with your wing bolts. Okay, but you're not going to need. But I like using my own tool because it's just more handy. Okay, so you're going to need this little baggie that says ailerons. It's got your ball links in it, and we're going to hook these two items up. Okay. Go ahead and open that up. Have yourself a little magnetic tray here. Empty that in. And then along with a 1.5 hex drive or that Allen wrench, you'll need, it's just easier to have a small pair of pliers. Now you could use your fingers, but it's just easier to have pliers. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the Z-bend. Okay, I'm going to put this in the outermost hole of the aileron control arm. It's already there. That's going to give me the most deflection. Well, you know what? Before we decide, okay, never mind. If you look at they got glue on servo covers, okay, and that determines what side you put the servo in. Okay, so that's going to glue on. And that's going to connect there. And this has to fit inside there, like that. So it's going to go on the outside. So let me fish this through here. Try to see what I'm doing here. If I would have thought about this, I would have had the small little drill press. Not drill press, it's a little pin drill. And drill this hole out just a little bit, but I didn't do that. So the ball links are just barely on there, so just be aware of that. So you're going to have to adjust them, but that's no big deal either. Ow, ow, that hurt. All right, so it's going to go through there like that, and you're going to take one of these screws here. This is where you take your 1.5 Allen wrench. Okay, or in this case, the hex drive. You're going to hold that there. And then you're going to put these two items together. Okay. You're going to get them together. They got to get together. The ball link goes through there. All right, like that. And you're going to hold. I'm going to have to adjust that because it's not neutral now. I'm going to hold this end here. And then take your nut. These are little locking nuts. They got like a little Loctite inside of them. They're little locking heads. Okay, hold that on there like that. Well, we've got to hold the nut straight. As you can see, we're not spit and polished like other channels. Everything is in real-time craziness. But I like the fact this is a ball link. I really do. All right, let me hold that in place. And you can, because you're going metal into metal here, you can kind of anchor down a little bit. And then I see the end of the screw coming through right there. See what that looks like. Maybe that'll focus on you. All right, you can see the end of the screw coming through there. All right, now we'll do the other side real quick. All right, I've got both sides done. Now what I'll get to do is, since I got hooked up to servo tester, as you can see, I'm able to manipulate them and get them perfectly trimmed with each other. And they're perfectly bench trim. And we all know the difference between bench trim and flight trim. In other words, it looks good on the bench, that doesn't mean it's going to be flight trim. Well, I just hit it, didn't I? All right, let's put it back. Okay. All right. There we go. Now, so that wing is on there as far as both sides of the are hooked up. So now let's go ahead and install our servo covers. Now you're going to need a little bit of glue for this, and anytime you're going to be connecting anything together like this is going to fit on there just like that. Okay? All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to scruff up the areas where it's going to be glue. Okay. Take a little bit of I'm going to use medium CA for this. All right. And then I'm going to place. There's a little pipe. I mean, it's obvious how it goes. I'll put that in there just like that. Okay. And I'm going to hit it with some kicker. Kicker. All right. All right. Come over here to the other side. Going to do the same thing. Going to rough that area up a little bit. All right. Put me a little bit of medium CA there. Don't have to go crazy with it. And then put my servo, actually it's a servo protector. That's what it is. Alright, on there like that. Kick it, hit it with a little bit of CA or a little bit of kicker there. Alright, and we can set the wing off, which is now ready for installation, off to the side. Now, let's turn our attention to the tail feathers. Okay. Now, we're going to be using two pieces for this. The elevator, or horizontal stabilizer, horizon, and the little end piece of this fuselage. And this actually fits right in there like that. Like, it's obvious how it goes. Okay. But, what am I doing? I'm hooking up foam, right? So, I'm going to go ahead, scuff that up just a little bit. Scuff up the areas. Don't get any glue in this little channel, this little indentation. Don't get any glue in there. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to take my glue, and before I do that, I'm going to do the smart thing. I'm going to do a dry fit. Make sure it fits in there, like so. Actually fits in that channel. This this protrusion here, there's a channel for it. So that gives me a clue as to where I want to put all my glue. Put some glue right up in there. Actually put the glue in the channel. Put the glue there. I'm going to put on the underside. On the underside. Okay, and I'm going to put it on the channel here. All right, I'm going to slide that puppy right on in there. Fits in there just purty. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little glue on this thing here. Like so. Turn that off to the side. That fits in there just like a purty piece of the puzzle. Hit it with some kicker. Kicker! Okay. And that elevator, or horizontal stabilizer, is definitely in there. Okay? So now, while that is setting up, let's go ahead and turn our attention to the wing. All right, wing. Oh, I should have fed that through. Feed your wires, your servo wires through the top here. Good thing I hooked up put that tape on there now, isn't it? So, And if I think get out of focus because I'm looking at what I'm doing, I'm not paying attention to the screen, so I do apologize. I do check every so often just to make sure. So that you can see what it is I'm doing. Alright, so you're going to pull your wires through the top of the wing. Okay, there is a hole here. I would go through that very back hole, the back hole there. Pull those through. Let that just fish on down through there. Pull them in from the bottom. Let your wing just kind of, it has a very obvious place where it's going to sit. Okay. Then you're going to take this piece, and that's just going to anchor in there like that. But you know what? I think, like I said, see how this protrusion, it fits in these pieces right in here? I think I'm going to go ahead and take the extra step and kind of scuff up the edges of this and just kind of tack this in place with a little bit of this glue right around the edges, just so this piece is more solid. I can still remove the wing if I wanted to, but this belly pan piece won't go anywhere. Okay. Because the wing actually sits in that saddle there. Okay. And put all that together, and that sandwiches that wing in there. This obviously I can't put kicker in there. Okay. Then I'm going to take, this is where you're going to use you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver for this to attach these wings. Set off your free tool, your little free Allen wrench to the side. You're not going to need it because I used my 1.5 Harris wrench. I'm going to drop in my wing bolts. And they should be going, take your Phillips head screwdriver, they should go all the way in. You start feeling it get some bite. Yep. You start feeling it, get bite, doesn't it? There, you can tell when, you can just feel it. You put enough of these models together, you'll just feel when you know when you've hit bottom and you know to stop. If you start getting some serious resistance, stop. Okay. Alright, maybe a little bit, just a tad more. When you get down the very bottom of a screw like this, just take your fingertips and just your fingertip strength is all you want to do. Okay, I think that is on there. Alright, now we're going to put on a peripheral real quick. That comes in the kit. You see these little cutouts here on the other side? These are for your exhaust tubes. They're little carbon fiber cutout exhaust tubes. They're just going to fit in there at an angle. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of kicker on these, or a little bit of glue. Put that in there just like that. Hit it with the kicker. Okay. And that it's going to look like that when you're done. Okay. Let me do this side real quick. Hit it with some kicker. Okay. And those are in there, and that's how that should look when you're done. Okay. Now we can turn our attention to these tail feathers and getting them hooked up. Now, normally you'd put your radio in there and you can go ahead and bind it all up, but I've got my handy dandy servo tester here to get everything centered and make sure everything's working for me. So let's go ahead and grab my elevator first. Okay. And I can see that working there. Okay, let me get it. That should be centered. Okay. This is not that big of a model at all. Okay. I'm going to grab a hold of I'm glad they gave me some room to play with. I'm going to grab a hold of the ball link, turn that in, okay, where it's going to line up a little bit better. That should be pretty good there. Okay. Get your ball link lined up with the hole there. And then in your kit, you've got another little baggie that says elevator and rudder. Okay, go ahead and open that up. That's the same deal. It's a little 1.5 screw. You're going to take a 1.5 hex head or that little Allen wrench they gave you, and you're going to fish this through in the ball link there, through the end of the elevator. And then this is where, yes, you could take your fingers and hold that, but this is where an angled piece of, or a pair of pliers, small hobby pliers, make your world so much easier. Hold that in place. Now, got to hold it in place securely. Okay. Get a little more bite on it here. This ain't a better angle for me. All right, that's on there. And while we're here, same deal with the rudder. Okay, let's get our rudder working, make sure our rudder's working okay, and get it centered. Am I on the rudder? Oh, that's the elevator. Oh wait, never mind. Okay. All right, there's the rudder. And again, they gave me plenty of room, so I'm going to be able to screw this ball link in. I'd rather have to screw it in than pull it out some. I'd rather have more in than out, if that makes any sense at all. Get that lined up to where that hole lines up, and got plenty of play. Got wiggle room in case I need it. Not too far there. All right. Now for this one, I'm going to drop this screw in and take it into the ball link from the top there. Maybe if I get, gotta get that little ball to rotate where you can get through it. There we go. And then I'm going to take my screw, or my nut, locking nut, and because I have this angle on here, I'm able to hold that in place. Maybe hold it in place. Well, like I said, we're not real spit and polish here on Fat Guy Flies RC, but that's okay. We're getting everything done in real time. If I could see what I'm doing. My eyes are not what they used to be. There we go. That's on there now. I love how bright the color of this, the yellow is. All right, and then I got a screw coming through the end of that lock nut, so I'm in good shape. All right, so now we have a mostly finished plane. I will find a way to secure the ESC. I have to decide what I want to do. Now, I don't condone, oh, real quick, make sure to balance your prop. Just a real rudimentary way of making sure your prop is balanced is to go ahead and just make sure you don't have any fans or on anything that influence. Put your prop on a wire like that, on a piece of screw. All right. And if it starts grossly favoring one blade or the other, then you know the blade that keeps dropping to the bottom continuously. Right. Rotate it. Rotate it. Rotate it. And if it keeps basically holding its position, I mean, what I'm looking for, I mean, like, that's pretty good. What I'm looking for is it continually wanting to drop, and no matter what I do, it always wants to go back to that one blade. If that's the case, then you need to take a piece of sandpaper and shave a little bit of material off of it. But since this is a painted prop, instead I would put a little piece of like Scotch tape on the opposite blade to make it a little bit heavier, and then just keep adding or taking off a little bit of Scotch tape on the light blade until the thing holds its position balance. Okay, so I know this is a very, very balanced prop. Okay, we'll take the nut off here, and you get a spinner with a plane. Even though I've seen the advertisement, I don't see it being used. So we're going to see. Take your screw and your nut off of there. You get one little spinner with it. Take it out. That'll be, Oh, okay. There's going to be two little screws. They're in the kit. They're in that bag that hold the front of the prop or the spinner on. Put that in there like that, and that should fit. There you go. Okay. The blade, the curved part of the blade is going to go against the curved part of the back plate there. Like that. Okay. Put your... make sure that fits on there good. Yeah, that's good. Hold on just a second. Oh, seems like to me there's a little bit of play in that. Yeah, there's a little bit of play. Let's get our adapters here. Okay, find what adapter. Probably that'd be that one right there. Okay, if you get your real thick adapters, this top left one is the one you're going to be using. It goes in the back side of the prop. Just press that in there. Yeah, that took that play out. Yeah, that took that play out. All right. Put on your back nut. Okay. Put on your front nut. Make sure it's a complete nut and that you're a nut. Okay. Okay, let me get a pair of pliers real quick. Didn't think about that. Sorry. Didn't mean to block your view. Alright, that motor's moving, so I'm going to put just a piece of metal in there just to kind of hold it in place while I tighten up that nut. Alright. You're not going to hurt anything. Now that's on there. Now, that lines up perfectly. And that's a good looking little spinner there. I like that. You're going to need this is a Phillips head. So, put that through there. Like so. Okay. Try the screw. Alright, now don't over tighten it. You just want to get it nice and snug because you're going a metal screw into a plastic backing. Okay? And that's on there. And that, folks, is the Durafly Brewster Buffalo V2. Our F2A Buffalo V2. And that is a good looking little model. Hold on just a second. We'll back up. There you go, folks. that is the Durafly all hooked up and ready to fly. It's got to put a receiver in, get her bound up. I will be setting her up according to the throws and everything, but we'll come and the throws and everything by the book. But my AS3X settings and my rates and everything that I pick, we'll go over that after we get them maiden in the flight, and everything. We'll go over that after the flight. But we'll get her set up by the book as far as the throws, and then I'll decide after the maiden whether I want more or less, and then I'll share that information with you. I'll also share all my AS3X settings with you. I'll be going with a AR631 receiver, and I'll be using the Safe Select as their, I know they have launch assist, but I prefer using Safe for launch assist until I'm comfortable with the plane. Then I'll probably just use regular AS3X or nothing. But there you go. That Hobby King, I want to thank you for sending this plane out for me for a review. I wish I'd gotten a little bit earlier. I could be more prepared, but I got the plane in the mail the day before release. So, and I was working. I still work for a living. So, all right. God bless y'all. See you at the field. Next time you see it, be in the air. And God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends. God is good. Hobby King, thank you. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.